sure if I'll be able to sustain this live. I am on my break, so I only have like 5 minutes anyway. Uh, I just wanted to do a quick update. I'm actually in the Walmart parking lot near my job using their Wi-Fi. It's the only way I can get live. For those that think that I've been coloring my hair, here you go. No hair color there, babies. I just wanted to give y'all an update. One, I didn't freeze to death last night. Woo woo. Two, I get paid Thursday night. Just so everybody knows, so everybody can quit ragging me. The only reason that I've been having an issue is there was a problem on my job with payroll. I just found this out myself because my last check was short 11 hours. I wasn't able to clock in for 2 days because the computer system was down and not properly operating. So due to the fact that I couldn't clock in, they were supposed to write it in, they messed up, and I didn't get paid. That's why my check was short and why, it was so difficult. For those that don't seem to understand, they say you have no rent. No, but I do have car insurance that is now, as of November 1st, it went up again. I don't know why. I thought once they locked you into a policy that you were locked into that price. But apparently, because I've used my roadside assistance 3 times, my premium has increased. So long story short, I'm actually paying $103.64 a month for that. Then my cell phone, even with the $10 Lifeline discount, the cheapest that I can get, I believe, is right around $28. I think it's $27.44 to be exact. I'm saying this because people think I don't have bills. Just to have heat for the past 3 weeks, what I've had to do is keep gas in the camper. When I don't have a ride, so that I don't lose my job, I'm driving the camper to work and back. To crank it up, for those that don't know, and still might not know when I tell you, I have a 1995 Stoker, and I think it's a 454. It's a 4 something, okay? All I know is it's a big old motor, and it's a Chevrolet, and it's the biggest one they ever made, pretty much, that's in a regular person's vehicle. I know to drive 3 blocks costs about $20. To crank the car and just idle for 2 minutes costs about $12. I'm getting anywhere from 9 to 11 miles a gallon, okay? I'm averaging the last 2 weeks, I put $143 in gas this week, this last payday on Thursday. I put $143 in the gas tank. I have just enough, hopefully, to make it back to the gas station when the paycheck hits and the gas in. And I'm praying I do because I have to drive. I requested to not work on the 20th because my transportation has a doctor's appointment in Charlotte. New man on totem pole. Guess what? I didn't get that request honored. So I have to be at work at 7 a.m. I have to drive. I won't get paid until 9. I'm not asking anybody for anything. I'm just explaining the situation and circumstances currently. Because I get told a lot what not to do. And that's fine. If you want to criticize, tell me don't burn rubbing alcohol. It puts off bad fumes. Okay. But in the next sentence, can you please tell me what to burn? How to heat? What is optimal and just as cheap to burn? That would be some great advice. I'm begging for that advice. If you want to know what I'm begging for advice on how to do this better by someone who's been in these circumstances. I'm 53 years old. I've never faced this situation. And by the way, for the person that said I lived off my mom, no, you don't know what you're talking about. My mom was on a fixed income. Her bills and her medication, without figuring in food, without figuring in gas to even put in her vehicle, just her house payment, her house insurance, her car payment, her car insurance, her light bill, her water bill, her cable bill, not trash pickup, not somebody coming to mow her grass because she didn't have a lawnmower, none of that. Those bills totaled more than what her 2 checks were. After 20-some years working for Sarah Lee, a.k.a. Haynes, my mother's pension check was only $103 and some change a month. And she had no life insurance, no nothing through them. They moved to Mexico with NAFTA and changed everything and didn't tell them. There's a lot of people that work for that company that are ending up in the situation my mom ended up in. She had no life insurance. She had no funeral, anything. Who do you think had to pay that? I'm an only child. Look up what the law is in North Carolina without a will. And for those of you that say, oh no, you did this, and you don't know. There's a thing called a small estate that if the people that are the heirs are getting less than $20,000, you don't have to do probate. I had an attorney. Who do you think had to pay for the lawyer? Jesus didn't come down and pay for that. What do you think for 2 months while waiting on the house to sell and checks to clear and, from the attorney's account, from the buyer's account, the attorney's account, and then to my account? I had to live somewhere. I had to pay a storage unit fee. I ended up losing so much of my stuff because of an infestation in the storage unit. I'm still trying to get that back. I paid $2,300.19 to be exact to park for 6 months. It prepaid my water, it prepaid my parking spot, it prepaid my electric up to a certain threshold for 6 months to this. And I keep pointing because it's right near where I'm at. And I can take you there right now. It looks like they took a bulldozer and leveled it off. There's still nothing there. I am one of 13 families that we know that we're done this to. There's a class action lawsuit. But anybody that knows anything about class action lawsuits, according to the attorney, it could be 3 to 5 years before we get our money back. The website's 404 not found. The phone numbers are disconnected. The office was empty. 2 weeks after we paid the monies. All this. I'm not the only one that got took. I'm not the only one that's singing this song, you know? And just to let it, I'm trying to just lay it out there and let people know. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody that criticizes because I could never please anybody. For the longest time while I was looking for a job, it was get a job, you lowlife, you lazy, get a job. No, I've had 2 jobs. And neither one of them was good enough. Then they had to talk. If it's 14 miles to a job from where you're able to live and lay your head, I got to get there somehow. Nobody's car runs on air and water. So not only am I putting that in the camper to have heat and to drive if I don't have the ride and she's not able to take me, but I got to pay the ride too. That's another $40 a week, which doesn't sound like much, but $4 is a lot right now. And this month alone, I've had 13 different prescriptions. I've been in the hospital 3 times. And then doesn't matter if I show the hospital paperwork and the bracelet and the IV marks and everything else. If she was really in the hospital, if she really had that. The same shit that you assholes did when my son was dying is what you're doing while I'm going through this. I try to be real and honest because a lot of people my age are going through the same things right now. We fall through the cracks in the system, and that's what needs to be addressed and people are not getting. In North Carolina, I still ain't got my food stamps. Like my friends that I know and my daughter and them, they have. If you have a child in your home under the age of 7, you got it first. If you're on disability, you got it first. If you're over the age of 55, you got it first. I'm 53. I don't have a child in my home. And here's the other part. You have to have an actual physical mailing address to be able to qualify for benefits. So the people that need it the most, the people that don't have a home, that don't have a place to live, are the ones that can't get help. And they're more than ever in this area and areas above me right now because we still haven't recovered from Helene. This year alone, we have 6 times the homeless population that we had a year ago, prior to Helene hitting. And I think people are forgetting that. They have tried alternative housing. It went actually to the North Carolina Court of Appeals. They were trying to use box cars from trains that were left over because we're no longer using that system. They tried to use those cars and like make them like a tiny house community. They're now building a satellite college campus on that land because they won't rezone it, and they won't zone those for living. They won't allow tiny homes in my county. By the way, check it out. It was a big thing that got buried. Now, I want to go to something else. I have some pictures and video that I'm going to try to do tonight if I can get a stable connection. That's been the problem I'm having because I had to go with the cheaper bill on my phone, and I'm down to 2G as far as my data and Wi-Fi. Long story short, there's a picture of Timmy Whitaker that's in a Walmart, and people have been having trouble identifying it. They're talking about the woman that's standing next to him. So I did a little searching and, sleuthing that I often do, and was able on LinkedIn to actually find the lady from North Carolina, Megan Exxon, I think is what she used to go by. So, and she was right there on LR Boulevard in Hickory, near where my mom's side of the family all resides in that area. So I did a little calling and sleuthing and whatnot. And by the way, let me reiterate, those of you that want to know where my family is, which side of the family and which graveyard are you going to put flowers on? In the past 3 years, I have buried my family. The only thing I have left is my daughter and my grandson. He's 7. He can't do a lot for his Nene. And my daughter has to put him first. I won't allow anything else. Her helping me cannot cause him and her to be homeless. I won't have that. I would be a piece of shit to do that. So let me clarify. There's no family that has thrown their back on me. They're in 6 foot under. What can they do? Please tell me. I'm sure they would love to help. That being said, I have found a picture of the Megan Exxon lady around the same time frame that picture was taken with Timmy in Walmart. Now, a lot of people feel like that she was edited in, which still could be a possibility. I'm not saying it isn't. What I'm telling you is the lady standing next to Timmy in the Walmart, both of them have buggies, bears a striking resemblance to the Megan Exxon lady from North Carolina. I'm trying to see what y'all are writing, and I'm going to be real with y'all. I can't hardly see it. Let me see if that helped. Does it bother you doing what you're doing? Okay, obviously you need to rewind. I'm working. I'm on my lunch break right now. So you're making yourself look kind of ignorant, whoever wrote that comment. I have a job. You must have not understood that. Yes, I did. They called it a cardiac event. As I've said repeatedly, it was damage to my right arterial wall. I am doing cardiac rehab. I'm not able to do the amount that I'm supposed to due to not having a ride. Because Blue Cross, Medicaid, you have to schedule a ride 2 weeks in advance. And I can't schedule the cardiac rehab that far in advance. I didn't know I was going to have a heart attack. Didn't know it was going to happen. Damage to my right arterial wall. That if I go to cardiac rehab, they're going to teach me how to prepare meals and how to eat. And I have to walk and I have to blow in this thing and I have to pass these tests before they fully release me. That's why I can't work over a certain number of hours at my job. And that's why I'm not giving them all the paperwork, because I've got to work. If I don't work, I can't get my medicine. And since I've had the heart attack, I've been having breathing issues. My heart will start racing and I can't catch my breath. It's not a full asthma attack. They're saying it's a panic attack and asthma attack combined. I have 3 different inhalers. One looks like a white daisy that I take in the morning with a steroid. Another one looks like a space shuttle that I take in the morning. And then I have the 2 rescue inhalers. I don't want anybody to be sorry. I don't understand. I'm not asking for anything. I'm trying to, Yeah, some people do consider their medical history private. I'm giving my own freely and getting drugged for it, so it's whatever. You ask a question, I answer, and then you don't want to hear or believe the answer. Anyway, I've got to get off here because I got to get back to work. I need to say the other thing, the Charlie Kirk thing that I was talking about. I have the picture of Timmy, the Megan Exxon lady from LinkedIn, and I have saved that, and I want to show that to you guys. I don't have the ability until I'm in front of the laptop and have Wi-Fi. So hopefully I'll be able to do that tonight. The other thing I was going to say was about Charlie Kirk. There is a couple of channels, and I want to credit them when I show it. The tennis shoes that the guy was wearing that's supposed to be the Tyler guy, they actually are the Lance guy's tennis shoes. You'll see. And the ear matches the ear on the guy Lance. Now, that was the furry dude or whatever, the boyfriend. There's also some reports and a video I found from somebody that was at the hospital that they took Charlie Kirk to. And it's really weird because the Mikey guy just pulls up, lets him out, picks somebody else up, and drives off. And it's very strange. There are two alternate theories, and one of them is that Charlie Kirk isn't deceased. The other thing that's come out is about the two airplanes. There was one, it seems, was following Erica for the past about 9 months, and another one that seems to have been following Charlie. And they're linked to Egypt, which is very odd because we don't really have anything going on with Egypt. No, I'm not. Sorry, JDTC. Maybe you're not hearing. What I'm trying to draw attention to is the fact that everybody tells you get this service and get that service. But if you're over the age of 50 in this state, it's not available. You have to be 55 or older to qualify. Or if you're under the age of 50, you have to have a child. People are telling me you don't have a copay for this, you don't have it, and you do. And I go and show them the government webpage, and they still don't believe it. But you're coming at people and you're not knowing what you're talking about. And that's why I'm trying to provide documentation. And people don't want to hear that. People don't even watch the video and make assumptions. By the way, the episode that I posted about baby Kingston, just to update those of you, the gentleman that was charged with felony child abuse for his unaliving of the 4-year-old has now been charged with second-degree unaliving murder. And the mother was arrested on the evening that the child passed away and charged with felony child abuse and felony neglect. They are doing a further investigation, and my source within the sheriff's department in Caldwell County is telling me that they expect the mother to be charged with second-degree unaliving as well, because she bonded him out. She bonded him out for the child abuse charges and left her 4-year-old that's been unalived and her 2-year-old with this gentleman. He unplugged the cameras inside the home and then did whatever he did to baby Kingston to cause him to be on life support for 63 hours before he succumbed to his injuries. I'm wishing that national media would pick this up. There were people that were offering to babysit the kids, and there was a no contact order. I've been played a recording that the father of the man who's charged made, where she called and begged him to come back to the home. That's why there's a push for her to get the same charges as him. She knowingly did this, knowingly allowed him to be alone with the children after there was already an allegation from the 4-year-old of abuse. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean, I'm trying to fight the sunlight. Is that better? And to read your comments, I apologize. I don't have my glasses. So tonight I will be going live I'll have those pictures and video that I'm talking about the Whitakers, that I received from an inside source that is a neighbor, actually, that gave me a whole lot of information. There's also an allegation of a romantic relationship that ended during this time there, as well as we can discuss the Charlie Kirk, and I'll have those videos showing the shoes, the ear, and the two alternate theories. One that's not even been put out by Candace Owens, and the actual news and press releases, and a copy of the police report for baby Kingston. If you haven't seen that, please go check out that video for baby Kingston. This really needs more attention than it's getting, so that it can't happen again to another child. I can't believe that they allowed her to bond the man out that was accused of hurting her child. And the very next day is when the child was sent to the hospital. Hi, I can't see who's saying hi. I can't read it. Peace, love, and light. Let's go back to work. Y'all have a great evening, and I'll see you tonight after I get off.